This week on Gettin Deep, we had Toby Richardson, a man of adventure. I mean that. He's a commercial pilot, he's been kicked out of a country, and he's even been reported missing. Yeah. And he's got a mission to take others on adventures.
I want to make it so I can't afford not to go on a trip. That would be the sweet spot.
Oh, that's a rough spot to put yourself in, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, practically I could just not do it, but if you go, oh, actually, it would make me money to go away and do this trip.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be a pretty nice spot to be in.
Good old golden handcuff to the plane.
Yeah.
I've got to fly today.
Yeah.
Oh, so how did you become a pilot? How do you go from, like, I guess high school to go, I'm flying planes now? Like, was it a family thing, or were you just like, I'm flying planes?
Oh, it was just something I knew I had to do. But
Really?
I didn't do it till I was 25 when I was 25. And so I'd been travelling around for a bit. I'd lived in Thailand just before that. And I came back to Australia and went, well, I guess I've got to do it.
Really? So it was just like, there was this switch. It was like, I got to fly planes.
Oh, it had always been this latent thing in the back of my head going, when am I going to fly a plane? And I thought if I dedicate a year to going through the course to do it as a commercial pilot's license rather than just ad hoc.
Every now and then.
Yeah, to do a private, I thought it might not actually happen. So in a way, it was easier to get a commercial pilot's license than a private one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, private's way more lessons, isn't it? Or is commercials like just one course, or how's it, like, what's the difference between them both? So I know a few people that have done a bunch of lessons just like for private stuff, but not as a commercial. Like, what's kind of the big difference there?
There's about 4 times the amount of flight hours for commercial.
Yep.
And
I suppose you've got other people, so you don't want to kill anyone else except for yourself.
Yeah, and there's just the theory is a lot more in depth as well, and it's set up so it's integrated. You do the theory alongside what you're learning practically, and then that way you go, oh, that's the knowledge I just learned. That's why the plane sort of did that thing it wasn't supposed to do. So you just sort of relate it.
Yeah, you're learning it like in real time at the same. Yeah, that makes sense.
And a lot more exams. And then the when you do the flight test itself, it's just the standards are a lot higher. So less...
less jankiness when you're landing.
Yeah, the landings have to be better. If even over, the course of an hour, the estimated time of arrival that you give has to be accurate within, I think it's 90 seconds. And
90 seconds?
Yeah, it might be 10 minutes. But
fuck, that's still nothing. Like,
yeah, you can adjust it as you go. But,
okay. So it's not like I'm taking off this time, I'm going to land at this time, and then it's within a minute and a half.
No, so it's when you, as you're flying and you're hitting certain, like headwind or tailwind, and you're calculating your ground speed and all that, you give them a revised ETA.
Yeah.
And then they write that down and stuff like you have to hold your heading by, I think it's 2 degrees without drifting off, and your altitude has to be pretty tightly controlled.
Yeah.
Just lots of little things like that.
Yeah, but that in the sky, it is fucking open. Like, I skydive. When you're out there, it's like you're staying on heading and you're like, can't, how? Like, the tiniest difference with your hands or your legs can spin you and flip you and send you in any fucking direction. Like, it is tiny things, but when you're out there, it seems like there's all this open space. But everyone's like, here, you're just stay in this tiny gap.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It's the weirdest concept in my head when I was doing it. They're like, you just stay here. And I'm like, there's all this space. What do you mean?
Yeah, moving through 3D space is tricky. I don't know how to explain it, but you're worried about, am I going too far left? Okay, now I've just gone 100 feet up or 100 feet down, and everything has this secondary and, sort of tertiary effect on how it controls something else. And
yeah, it's not just a matter of left or right. It's like if you go left or right, like with an angle, there you're on left and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do that in a plane, so you put in a bit of left rudder. The rudder's now sticking out to the left, so you have more drag on the left, so it starts to pull you around, but then you roll in as well, and then you have different lift on the outside wing versus the inside wing, and then it just changes. Everything has a little bit of a flow-on effect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's even just like noticing it when you're skydiving, you're like, fuck, man, flying a plane would be fucked. Like, just that difference. And like, I jumped out one time 30 seconds, maybe a minute. It was probably 2 minutes actually. I shouldn't give myself any leeway here. It was probably about 2 minutes too late. And I ended up miles away from where I was meant to land. Like when I pulled the chute, I was like, I'm fucking 2Ks out.
Yeah.
Like, how do we travel that far in the fucking sky to like put me this far out? It's nuts.
Yeah. It's funny you talk about skydiving because all the pilots I know, like flying's cool, but they're all a bit too obsessed with planes. They go, why would you jump out of a perfectly good plane? Because it's fun.
Well, so you've never skydived?
No, I haven't.
You ever think you will?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's only a matter of time if you're
But it's just this pilot thing. They go, why would you jump out of a perfectly good plane? And you go, because someone needs to.
Mate, have you been in there as a human instead of a plane? It's fucking wild. That's. I think flying a plane was never something I was like, yeah. I was just like, I want to jump out of the cunts. Like,
Yeah, I've got to do it.
It's if you can fly, I reckon you'll get the concept a lot easier of like moving your body as well. Because for me, I was kind of like, why the fuck is this tiny movement making such a difference? Like, put your legs out and you start shooting forward. And you're like, can't. Now I'm nowhere near where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
Can I get you to move that bottle? I've thought about it about 20 times.
I was going to ask.
I literally looked at it and I was like, I'm going to ignore this. And then my brain's just like, tell him to move it, tell him to move it, tell him to move it. Fuck. I was like, I had to ask you eventually. That mat's there. You can have it on that if you want. I just didn't want it right there because when that camera's just going to look at it and when I'm editing, I'll be like, God damn that bottle. So when you're in Thailand, was that like your first part of like, I'm going adventuring? Or was that just like, I'm going on a holiday? What made you move there and then eventually come back and go, fuck this, adventure times?
So I've done lots of little trips. I grew up in real remote places. So there's always this sense of, I've got to go and explore and see what's over there, no matter where there is. But I was working in the city. I was working in Netherlands and I had a corporate job. So suit and tie every day, French cuffs, cufflinks and all that. And I lived in Queen's Park on the other side of the city.
Yeah.
I think I was 23 at the time. And work was going pretty good. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I need to move closer so that I don't have to do, 50 minutes drive with traffic every day. And then, okay, well, then I'd have to get an apartment. And I had this stupid fucking two-door car that I bought new. Subaru BRZ, the least practical car in the world. And that was just a dumb day that I went and bought that car. But then I thought, okay, well, I'll probably need to get a Range Rover or something because that fits in with what I'm doing. I can take clients around and all that. And I just saw all these things that would have slotted into place one by one. And I thought, fuck, I'm going to be stuck doing this for the next 10, 15 years. And so I was doing commercial leasing and I got paid a commission while I was on the Christmas holiday. And I just looked up flights to England and went, okay, I'll do it. I was up downstairs at my grandparents' house and then I walked back upstairs, told my girlfriend, I was like, I'm moving to England.
I'll move. You was like, I'm moving.
Yeah. And
got a good comment. Fuck this place. I'm out. I don't want to do this for the next 10 years.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, I didn't want to miss that period of life.
Yeah.
Because I think that the older you get, just the more encumbered you get from just life's trappings.
Yeah.
And I went, I need to do this, and I need to do it now. So I went to England. Long story short, I had a transit in Thailand for 5 days. And just really loved the vibe of the place. I'm not a big city guy, but for some reason I fell in love with Bangkok. And then that's a massive city. It's
fucking
huge,
colossal.
But it's just got this bit of a vibe to it. There's lots of expats. There's a sort of an artsy vibe without it being sort of dirty and grungy. And I just thought I've got to get back here. And so after living and working in England for a while, I went to Thailand.
And you stayed in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, here I was thinking you were like somewhere out in the party zones, but I mean Bangkok's a party zone, but it's a different place to live. It's I suppose if you're in sales, it makes sense.
Well, I didn't really know that I was living there. I had no further plans to go anywhere. So I say I live there because I sort of got into, I guess, just the
being there.
Yeah, the flow of things. On my way to England, when I stopped there that first time, I met a guy called Steve, and he became one of my best mates. But he worked as a writer online.
Oh, yeah.
And this was back before people were doing the whole online thing. I used to tell people, because I was living at a hostel, had to deal with the lady that owned the hostel to help teach her staff English.
Yeah.
And people would come through and they'd be on their big 6-week trip of Asia and all that. Then they're going back to their job and they'd go, oh, what do you do? I work online and just sort of travel indefinitely. And they'd all get angry and say that I had rich parents.
Yeah.
Like
how they just didn't understand.
Yeah, it challenges what they did, and they go, how the fuck can you be doing that if you're just writing articles for people? And I said, well, I do. And sometimes I go hungry or whatever because it doesn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was the other part of living in Thailand. You know, it's cheap.
You don't have to worry.
Yeah. But, yeah, I just sort of went to Thailand by accident.
And then
it's just a
figured it
transit. Yeah, yeah. And just met this bloke called Steve, and he goes, yeah, I write articles. I'll show you what to do. And
fuck. Yeah. Look at Destiny taking its chance there.
yeah.
It's like I'm moving to England and now I fucking know a guy who can help me live in Thailand just by being a worker online.
Yeah.
Man, you got the digital nomad life before it was even a thing.
Well, it was a bit of a thing cult-wise, in and in Thailand as well. More so in Chiang Mai in the north. That was, the big digital nomad hub and all that.
The yoga cunts were.
Yeah. And I love Chiang Mai. It's cool, but there was just this, I don't know, attraction to Bangkok. And you say, oh, yeah, I really like Bangkok. And people go, oh, was it the lady boys? Was it this or all the dodgy streets and that? But no, just had this really cool vibe. I took my wife there the other week.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
So I've been there. I was there for 6 days, I think. And I didn't even get close to scratching the surface of what's there.
Yeah.
It's mental. And the first thing I do when I go somewhere is like public transport. How quick is it? How easy is it to use? And I got on the SkyTrain the first day there, and I bought like the most expensive ticket, thinking it'd be like an all-day ticket, and just got on and then got off like 5 stops. And then I was like, went back and I was like, how the fuck? I was like, oh, so you just buy a ticket and then go, and then you get off, and then that's it. You don't fucking use the same ticket. There's not like here where you get a ticket and you can use it for an hour and a half or whatever. It's just you buy a ticket, you get to your stop and you get the fuck off.
Yeah.
You buy another one, get back on.
Yeah, and they're the plastic tickets and you put it into the machine and it just this little token, it sucks it back in and it reuses it.
Yeah.
And the train there is better than anything I've ever seen in Australia.
Oh, their SkyTrain rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just, if you don't know what Bangkok's like, you don't expect it. You go, how can it have this level of development? And some of the biggest shopping centres you'll ever see.
Oh, yeah.
But a kilometre from little old shanty houses and all that, it's still got that quaint feeling to it as well.
Yeah. So like we stumbled across some area trying to find a shooting range, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm in a city, but then 2 streets over, you're still like high rises.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on in this place? It was crazy. It's an interesting place to adventure in. That's what I felt about. We ended up, I think, at the Erawan Museum, which was like the 3-headed elephant.
Okay.
And it was like, we ended up in some crocodile farm shooting pistols. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's still got some pretty loose aspects to it.
That was 2015, so it's like 9 years ago now. But still, I remember just like we went to a crocodile farm in just outside of the city. It wasn't far at all. And I was like, fuck, man, it was a zoo, but the crocodiles were on top of each other. It was literally like if you had like a worm farm, that's how many crocodiles were in this like pit. And then they just had a shooting range where they just handed you Berettas for $15. And I was like, this is wild. It was just fucking not attached to a string or nothing, just someone loading a clip and just shoot that target over there. All right, dope. Weird place. But I think, and I noticed I didn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah, I don't know how many years it would take to really get your head around the place. There's still, I saw a ton of places when I went back just the other week that I haven't seen before. And I was only there 5 days this time.
Yeah, I could imagine. Fuck. I could imagine the changes even from, how long ago were you there before?
About 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
8 years, yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, so same as me. I was pretty much there the year before that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I was probably there when you were there.
Yeah.
That's it. I imagine how much it would have changed in 8 years as well.
Not as much as I'd worried. It's sort of set on this progression of tourism and development and all that, and that got quite halted during COVID, where here tourism went crazy because we had the domestic market to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
There they didn't. Tourism just stopped for a while. So
It's weird because then they started legalising weed over there as well.
I couldn't believe that when I went there.
It's a very weird thing for them to do that, I thought.
Yeah, well, everyone I knew over there, all the expats, they all smoked weed, but it was you'd hate to be caught with them. You know, it's not Singapore, but it's still an Asian country.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
still like fucking, we don't like you, you're fucked now.
yeah, and then I went back there and walking past dispensaries with just the strongest weed smell coming out onto the street.
Yeah. It's mental.
Yeah.
I know a dude who moved there to sell weed.
Okay.
He's like some weed company over there, and I was like, this is it? I suppose what the tax rate over there is only like 15% or something as well. So
Okay.
you're like, well, okay. I suppose that makes it easy, but still a transition that I was like, that's mental. And I think I read something that might be trying to legalise gambling over there, because I know a lot of poker players would live there and play online illegally.
Yeah, okay. Well, everybody I knew that worked online or did some sort of online activity, it was all, under the table. Not that it was really an economic activity in Thailand. You weren't taking money from Thai people.
Yeah.
But nobody had work visas, except those that were also doing, a bit of the odd day teaching English.
Yeah.
Visa runs were a real common thing there because it was real hard to get, an ongoing visa without working there.
Well, because it's as simple as like if you're there for 3 months or some shit, you just swap over to another Asian country that's close by, stay there for like 2 days and then come back, right?
Yeah, 2 days is sort of what you want to do so you don't raise suspicion. I was in Chiang Mai, which is up the north, up north, and all my accounts got closed because of suspicious activity and I didn't have any money there. And I think one night I slept in a park, and then the next night I found this hostel where I was able to explain, can I transfer you some Bitcoin or something? Can I try and get my sister to pay you from Australia? And they said, look, when you've got the money, just pay us back.
Yeah.
And they were real chill. Thai people are so friendly. But I had to get out of the country the next day to not overstay my visa. So I went up to the Myanmar border, and then I think it's $20 or something to get the visa on arrival over the other side.
Yeah.
So I left Thailand without any problem, and I had to weigh it up. I was like, am I going to get in more trouble from overstaying a visa? Like, that's a fair amount of trouble. Or if I go into Myanmar without any money and I can't get the visa on arrival, will they just peacefully kick me out? And so I took the risk and I went there, and they're trying to explain to me, no, you need money. Do you have any US dollars? I was like, well, I'm not American. Why would I have US dollars? And they thought I just didn't understand. And then the big police chief comes and sits down, and he's, talking away, and they're pointing at money and at the clock and all this other stuff. And I was there for like a good hour going, oh, geez, I hope I'm not going to jail tonight. And eventually he just sort of yelled, walked off, and then one of the other guys just put this big sort of denied stamp in there and then turfed me back over. But I'd been out of Thailand, and that when I went back in, they didn't really look at the denied stamp. They just go, okay. So I think I was just lucky that day.
Fuck. So you went to Myanmar to get denied so you didn't overstay a visa to get a new visa back in Thailand.
Yeah.
That's... and it worked.
Yes, it did. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but...
No, but you had your accounts frozen. You had your reasons. It makes sense.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in my accounts to start off with.
Yeah,
but
it would have been enough.
It would have been just enough to get by.
Yeah.
I think I pulled out 2 Singapore dollars and, a couple of Australian coins and some Thai money, and they were just shaking their heads like, who is this fuckhead? Like, just kick him out of our country. That was the first time I got kicked out of a country.
That's quite funny. That's a little venture in its own. And then when you got back into Thailand, what did you do? Like, if you didn't have any money yet, you was back to that hostel that you were at the night before?
Yeah, so that was about an hour away, and I think I'd spent the last money on a return bus fare, and that was the local bus, like the chicken bus.
Yeah, like a buck.
Yeah. Yeah.
A buck for a buck.
I think I was lucky because at that border, they're looking for... illegal Burmese immigrants, and there's the hills there have a native people, I think they're called the Hmong, and they're stateless. So they're looking for illegal immigration coming in there. So bloody Mr. Whitey over there.
They're just like, pay us, cunt.
Yeah, just, yeah, so I was fine.
Yeah. Did you end up going to Myanmar after that?
I've done a crossing with a couple of guys on some motorbikes in a different part of the border, but no, I've never officially been past that bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
It's this little walk bridge over the river, get yelled at, walk back, but yeah, so I've been back, but no.
Yeah, not officially, not stamped.
Yeah.
Are you planning to at any point, or you think now you've been denied, you're like, nah, maybe never?
Oh, it was just, I think it would be fine. And I don't even think there'd be a record of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't digital, it was just in the passport. I think I've got a new passport.
Oh, that's fine then. They're not going to go back and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, there was this other time going to Thailand. I was with actually the same mate, Steve, that I was saying before, the guy who got me into writing. We were in Malaysia for a couple of months because he'd been kicked out of Thailand for doing too many visa runs. He never had ongoing one, just did a series of 3-month visas for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And so he goes, oh, I've been kicked out of Thailand. Do you want to come hang out in Malaysia for a bit? So I said, yeah, I'll come to Malaysia. And we were there for, I think it was a month or two to make it not look like a visa run. And we went and got visas from the embassy. We thought we'll do it as properly as we can. And we had this huge piss up the night before. And I can't remember how it happened, but I think about 4 a.m. when we woke up to catch this bus, we were just fucking covered in talcum powder. Like there'd been this, I don't know, something had happened at the hostel and there'd been a fight or somebody's bag had broke. I don't know. We were just head to toe, just covered in talcum powder. And we get to the border of Thailand and they're just looking at us like, who are these fuckheads?
Yeah. What, are you fucking with us? Is this Coke or something?
And we go up and they look at his visa and his paperwork and they see that he's previously been kicked out and he's been there for 3 years and he's covered in talcum powder. And they just grabbed both of our passports and big fucking get the fuck out.
Oh.
So then we had to catch because there's a bit of a gap between the borders there. So we had to catch a taxi back to Malaysia where they had to void our exit stamps and all that and let us back in.
Fuck.
But that were pretty chill, actually.
So it was like, oh, you're not allowed there, you may as well come back here.
Yeah, I don't think we were at risk of overstaying in Malaysia, so...
Yeah, that's kind of a bonus then.
Yeah.
So that was the end of Thailand at that point? Or you ended up going back again?
Oh, I remember where I was going with the story now. So we went to America for 3 months. He's American.
Yep.
And he goes, oh, well, if I spend 3 months at home, then it will look like he's not doing a visa run. So I thought, all right, free accommodation in the States, let's go.
Fucking why
was
not?
there for 3 months. And then he got a new passport, so it didn't have all the old stamps and stuff.
all the denials.
Yeah, because Thailand at the time hadn't really digitised too much of their stuff, or it wasn't connected between different border crossings. But I have a British passport as well. So then I just went back into Thailand, but on a different passport, and it was fine.
Fuck.
So whichever passport I use to try and get into Myanmar, I'll just use the other one.
Just you'll be fine.
Yeah, well.
Dual passports, that's the joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That gives you access to how many more countries? I've looked at this before because I've thought about trying to get one. Don't think I can because I know my dad, I think my dad was Scottish, but he's not on my birth certificate. So I'm like, and he's dead. So it's not like I can be like, hey, can you just like tell everyone you're my dad because he's not alive? So I'm like, is there a way that I can get my dad on my birth certificate so then I can try and get a Scottish passport?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's thought about it. I don't know if I'm going to investigate it hard enough. I've looked up a few times and I'm like, this is going to be one of those difficult things. Like, how do you know it's your dad? I'm like, I did a DNA test. Look at Ancestry. That's good enough, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah, so, I don't know where you'd start with that.
Oh, it's pretty much how I was like, Reddit, give me some information. It was a little bit, but not. I think it's just one of those things. I think it will be hilarious to make it happen because of how difficult it would be to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd use it to its full potential. Like, I've got 3 kids. I'm not going to go and backpack around Europe.
Well, it's not what it used to be. When I first got it, it was a European passport. So that was, living and working rights in any EU country. Now it's just the UK, which is still a lot better than not having it. But
oh, yeah. Well, it's definitely better than just an Australian passport. We just get 3 months everywhere. You can go spend 3 months and come back to your prison farm. It's fine.
Yeah.
So what, after becoming like a pilot, what made you want to go like, I've got to make this bigger and like kind of become an adventurer to turn it into some kind of business? Like what's the other things that you do outside of that? Obviously you're saying you're riding bikes maybe past the border of a different country, but what other parts of it are like the bones of it, I guess?
So why take the time and effort to try and create this lifestyle?
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any other choice. I get bored real easy.
Yeah.
You know,
I get that.
I think it really comes down to that. And then,
well, you can see you got pretty good pay and you were like, that's it, might have to buy a Range Rover, and you went, fuck this, I'm moving to England.
yeah, I was starting to make sort of reasonable money for the first time ever. And I went, it doesn't really scratch any particular itch. It's less stressful than not having money.
Yeah.
I've been broke so many times in my life.
Do you find being broke teaches you so much more than having money?
Yeah, and it's just not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not really a problem at all, eh?
Yeah, I think Oscar Wilde said, if you anybody that doesn't live beyond their means suffers from a lack of imagination.
Yeah.
He died broke, I believe, but
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you die rich, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Where's that money going, cunt? You're dead.
Yeah. Taxes, probably.
Oh, yeah, for sure the government's taking their share. There's an inheritance tax. That exists. It's
Yeah.
fucking wild. A death tax. You're like, cunt, oh, I'm dead. Give my money to someone else. They deserve it, you motherfuckers. Stop taking my dead money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. Dying broke is probably a good thing.
Yeah. So I have this conversation with my wife all the time about, because you have all the conversations about, what you're both trying to achieve financially and all that. And I want to make tons of money. I'm like, I want to make tons of money. But it's not the be all and end all. I wouldn't sacrifice any of that other stuff if I had to choose between them.
Yeah.
And she would really hate to die broke because, those later years in life would be made a lot more difficult. But I think given the choice between, a really exciting life and maybe having a couple of real shitty years when you're a bit decrepit anyway.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'm of that, I swapped my 20s for my 90s. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty certain that there's not going to be any 90-year-old me.
Yeah.
That
If the
shit's
20s
gone.
were done right,
Yeah.
the 90s are less of a risk.
That's not even happening. There's a chance I might be swapping my 30s for my 80s at this point.
Yeah. So I think I just had to do it. Sometimes, I don't know, it sounds melodramatic, but if I'm not doing anything, I can just feel that time slipping away. I don't know if everybody has that clock. I'm sure we all do, and we learn to tune it out.
I don't know, man. I've met some people where I'm like, you're going to die. That's, like, I have that same thought. You're like, one day I'm dead.
Yeah.
And if I don't do shit before then...
But I don't think society's set up for us to realise that. I think we all know. When you're a kid, you don't know you're going to die. And then you find out everyone dies and you go, oh, fuck. Mum, Dad, you're going to die. Like, what the fuck? And then you go, oh, hold on. I'm going to die too. This is a bit crap. And I think that stays with you.
That's a motivator, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, but there's all these things I want to do. But I think society in general, mass media is just designed to placate you so you forget about the existential crisis happening. The school system does everything it can, I think, to try and squash. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no room for adventure in school.
No, it's the same system that was set up in the Industrial Revolution to get people working in factories.
Yeah.
That's great if you're a factory owner.
It's fuck, man. I have kids in school and I've got to try and you can't be like, don't do school because you'd be a dumb cunt. I don't have the time to teach you everything, but you can't also be like, follow everything to a T because you're going to come out an even dumber cunt.
Yeah.
Like you're going to come out a full-blown robot. And one of my kids the other day got in trouble. One of my younger kids got in trouble for hanging out with my older kid. I couldn't believe that this was happening. No, like, no, you're going to make friends your own age. And my older kid was like, he has friends his own age, but he's playing with us. And the teacher's like, don't talk back. I was like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah, what, did they bring the cane out? What?
Yeah, well, the school's not that bad, but like I just thought, why would a teacher tell a kid like don't hang out with older kids? And then I found out she was like, also, they're too rough for you. And I was like, how does she make that decision? Like you make the decision if kids are too rough for you. You don't get them made by somebody else. That I was like, that's you. I know, like one of my kids is smaller. Like he's like he looks like he should be a year younger than he is, but fuck it. Get hurt, dude. It's part of the game.
Yeah, and I'm not small or short.
Yeah.
But the short guys always fight the hardest. You see people, yeah. So they always seem to be fine in the rough conditions.
Yeah, it's just the normals. The normals are like, yeah, little bitches.
Yeah. I've always thought, because I've spent a lot of time out of school as a kid going away doing stuff, and you catch up, and sometimes I go, oh, but what are you going to do if you miss out on some stuff? If you can't catch up on like 2 years of school, like you've got a problem. There's something holding you back. And then most people are worried about missing a week. If you can't catch up on that week, don't even bother. It's too late for you.
Yeah, like I lost a term in year 3 and fine. It's like nothing happened. I genuinely, like, my mum was meant to homeschool me. We like up and shipped over to Melbourne for a month or for fucking like 2 months. They got all this homework to give her, and like I was just a disobedient little cunt, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I did that I did that for half of year 9. We were moving around.
Yeah.
And yeah, so homeschooling or bloody distance ed or whatever it was, you know, for like rural kids. And yeah, I didn't do a thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, can you do that? I'd be like, nobody, not once in my entire life, all my teachers, all my principals, you lot as my parents, any of your friends, any of my friends, has been able to explain to me why I need to do this shit
At home.
Yeah, or at all.
Yeah.
So
there's some things I've like I can grasp that make sense now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But nobody took the time to explain it to me, so fuck them. I wasn't going to listen.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I think one of the things I got told in school was like, "But what are you going to do when you're older?" And I was like, "I don't even know what I'm doing now." What the fuck do you mean? What am I doing when I'm older?
No one does. Yeah, choose all your subjects to choose what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Dreaming. And I grew up around here, so I was like Rockingham. The only thing they tell you in high school is do a trade. And I was like, I don't want to. That all sounds like shit to me. I don't even do woodwork in year fucking 9. What do you think I'm going to be, a carpenter cunt? I don't even like it. Like, you think I'm going to be a bricky cunt? I don't like bricks.
My old man's a Sparky, and he used to take me to work with him because he hated it.
Yeah.
He goes, so many people want their kid to do what they do. I think some of it's sharing, or maybe, if I'm being pessimistic, some of it's validation. Oh, well, you did that your whole life. All right, let me validate that by doing it too. But my old man, he goes, no, come see what I do. See why I don't like it. If you want to do it, then do it. But if you don't want to do it, like, don't make the same mistake that I did.
Man, that's fucking a bonus. Sounds like your dad just switched on.
And then...
Because it's a really good point. Like, but yeah, come do my shitty job. You're like, cunt, your job is shit. Why should I do that as a kid? Like, no.
Yeah, but then what he did for probably some of my most formative years was remote RCD testing at remote Aboriginal communities all through the Kimberley and the Pilbara, and that was fantastic. And what I learnt from that was, okay, have a business where you get to go places, and it's nothing to do with the fact that it was electrical.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he taught me that about, well, come and see what electrical's like because you probably won't enjoy it. But then my sister decided to become a mature age apprentice. And because she'd chosen that of her own volition, he was as supportive as anybody could be.
Yeah.
And she's probably been a Sparky for about 10 years now.
Loves it.
Oh, well, she hasn't really worked as a Sparky. She works in safety now, but yeah, she loves what she does. So
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's the only way to do something enjoyable. Like as you said, if you don't, you'll get bored and you'll do something else.
Yeah. But I think it comes back to the fact that school just never made me numb to that ticking in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't know, a really nice sort of summer's evening, you're driving around with the windows down, and there's just something about summer for me where you feel unencumbered because you don't have to wind your windows up. You're not hiding away from the cold and all that. And there's little moments like that, or you're just listening to a song or something, and you just forget all of your bullshit for a moment. I've got to do this today. I've got to make this amount of money, pay these bills or whatever. And I think, a lot of the bullshit just sort of washes away for half a second. You go, actually, I haven't had one of these moments. I need to check in. What am I doing with my life? And it's just this ticking, like, mortality, or that I will never get to do all the things I want to do. So I really need to try to do some. And that's just, never left me.
Did you ever write like a list of things to do?
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
Oh, probably like 18 or something. I'm sure I probably did it when I was younger as well.
Yeah. What made you think that was a good idea?
I don't know.
Man,
I think
it's very odd. Like, not many people do it.
I think my parents were always really good in guiding me to the fact that, there's certain things that we take for granted in life, and you do have options, and actually think about what you want to do. So I think that sort of set these expectations that guide your later decisions. Not quite, packaged up in that.
Well, not as like, I guess, like boxy, right? Where it's like, you've got to do this as your path. It's like, think about it.
Yeah, what I mean is not so specified and laid out in terminology, but just as a general thing, like, well, what do you want to do? Okay, well, I want to do whatever it is. I can't really remember, because some people go, I always wanted to do this one thing. I think I just wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
And so then the follow-up would be like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? So I think...
even those two questions. What do you want to do?
Writing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably both of them. I remember my dad sort of saying, yeah, okay, write it down.
Yeah. Because I tell adults that.
Yeah.
And they still don't even fucking do it.
Well, a lot of people write it off as this woo-woo positive affirmation stuff, and you can write it off if you want, but I think it comes down to reticular activation, what the filter that that determines what stimuli gets registered as conscious, like in your conscious mind, because there's so much happening. Like there's cars going out on the street there. There's carpet under my feet. My weight's against the chair. There's so many things you can notice. There's too much. So your brain goes, okay, well, these are the things I'm going to notice consciously. And it just sort of gets into this habit of noticing the same shit.
Yeah.
Like when you drive to work or you drive back from work and you go,
autopilot, go on.
How the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
And I think just actually, thinking about what you want and particularly writing it down sort of trains your conscious attention.
Yeah. I literally write 5 goals on my mirror. So every day I see it. That's what I'm working on right now. So I see it and I remind myself, like, you got to do that. You got to do something, step towards that today. Like, there's got to be one more. Because if you don't, you won't.
Yeah, you just get caught up in too much shit because life will hammer you.
Oh, yeah.
If you go, okay, I've got this amount of free space, it's getting filled by other shit. So you have to say, no, this is my space. For even if it's your space to have free space to think. If you go, okay, that's my time when I'm going to do nothing, that'll be fine. But if you just sort of leave it as a default thing,
it'll get filled with something.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to I just try to do nothing by default.
I think you do the opposite, but
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So instead of doing a consciously shit thing, it's like I'm going to deliberately do nothing, so I'm going to fill it with better things. Is that what you mean?
Oh no, sort of the opposite. I think if you just leave all this sort of open space, life just dumps a whole bunch of shit in your inbox, you to do whatever, and you end up doing it. So if you just sort of go, even if that's like writing goals on your mirror, you say that sort of is just trained your attention. You're like, that's right, I was, trying to get an extra sale today, or, not eat that so I can lose more weight, or whatever it is. And just once you've got even just a bit of a basic intention, it's harder for just all this shit to come and fall into your empty space box.
Yeah. If you've got intention, you have to work on that. It won't get filled with crap.
But if the intention is just to have some free space so you can think.
It'll still get filled.
Yeah, but not as much as if you just leave it empty for no reason.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, or if you're intentionally being like, I'm going to put myself in a spot where nothing can happen, nothing will happen.
Yeah, or you just go, I'm not looking for something to do. So maybe like this sort of busyness doesn't affect you as much. You know, like you go, okay, I'm doing nothing. Oh, what's the time? You know, where's my phone, emails, all this. If you've just sort of consciously acknowledged, okay, I've got that time just to ponder. It doesn't even have to be big idea or like meditating or anything. It can just be, I have this time to sort of to think.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just go for a drive because that sort of gives you enough to do where other shit doesn't happen.
Well, it makes you have to use your senses so they can't deliberately be distracted by screens and fucking other people's minor attentions.
Yeah.
Like a phone or a TV, if you're sitting and thinking, you're like, oh, I'll put this on in the background, it becomes the foreground.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Like,
Yes.
It's fucked. Phones are the same thing. You sit down on the couch and then somehow you're halfway through fucking 10 minutes of scrolling. You're like, cunt.
Yeah.
Why did I pick that out of my fucking
If you're lucky
pocket?
enough to realise at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I got a dumb phone.
Yep.
And I'm back to the smartphone because I'll do something, or particularly going overseas and you want messaging and maps and that sort of stuff. Or there's I've got navigation software that I use when I'm running a tour that I need the smartphone for, and it's handy to take photos and all that. But I'll have the dumb phone, and it does nothing. It texts and it calls, and to text you have to press 2-3 times to get C.
Yeah. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
And even weeks after swapping to it, I'd pull it out of my pocket to do something with it and go, what the fuck? Weeks after.
Like, you can't do shit with it as well. Yeah.
And then going, maybe I'll just click in, go onto the menu and see if there's something I can do all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. It's an addiction. So you come up with all these little stories and there's all these like impulses. I gave up coffee at the beginning of the year it only lasted, I think I made it 40 days or something, which was the longest I've ever gone since I was like 15.
Yeah.
But on day 30, I go, 30 days, I should celebrate.
Having a coffee.
Yeah. I should go to the cafe, buy a cappuccino.
Yeah.
And I thought about that and I went, hold on. That really does not make sense.
Yeah. No.
Like it's this.
I'm the same. I've done with sugar and caffeine.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. It's like, man, I've done a whole month with nothing. Go drink a Coke.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
No, I got a whole month off. What the fuck am I? No, you're good. Don't drink a Coke.
Yeah. It's just, there's like there's just this manipulative little cunt in the back of your head going, this caffeine-free thing's worked so well that you should have caffeine.
Yeah, this is, reward yourself with the thing you don't want.
Yeah.
You're like, what? No, fuck out of here.
And we put all of that, we understand that there's these sort of impulsive behaviours and all that, and we attach them to things like alcohol or drugs or caffeine or whatever it is, and we forget that we do it behaviourally. Even if it's not just the fight. Like sometimes you just go, why did I just say shit about that guy? When somebody mentioned, or like what, just these little programs and all that. And I don't know, the mind's just this weird thing.
I've got this theory that thoughts are like the sixth sense. Like they're not really your own. And this will sound pretty weird, but it's like if you think of animals versus humans, right? And an unconscious mind does everything to keep you alive. Breathing, eating, fucking, whatever it is to keep you alive. That's what animals do. But your conscious mind gets you to do stupid shit that isn't going to keep you alive.
Yeah.
Eating bad food, jumping out of fucking planes. Like, that is what your conscious mind's like, hey, this is a good idea, let's go do that. So I'm like, well, maybe animals don't have a conscious mind. They just have the unconscious mind, which is keeping them together. And we've got some fucking little sensor in our brain that is gating thoughts from like, multi-dimensional beings. And then I thought of it in a way of like, it could be some weird game that like multi-dimensional beings do. And it's not because like they could live in a place where time doesn't exist, but they're like, these things go for like 100 years. 10 of us can pick one, and what we'll do is we'll feed it thoughts. And my goal is to by the end of the 100 years, by the time it dies, is to make sure it was the happiest, so they get the most happy points. And then another fucking being can be like, my goal is to get it to kill itself before it hits 50. So they just feed you all these fucking thoughts. And you can imagine there's like a 10-player game in one human, and that's all the thoughts. And they're just like all these things coming in, and you've just got to like bounce around and make your path with it. And it's just fighting your unconscious brain all the time.
Well, you know, like everyone's pretty familiar with the idea of an intrusive thought.
Yeah. And that's what it is, right?
You're going down the street and there's a kid standing on the side of the road and you think, yeah, what if I accidentally just, like, and you go, what the fuck?
I like how you said accidentally. I'm like 10 points.
Yeah, but we treat it as this aberration, like this, occasional thing that pops up. But I think, thoughts are nearly all just intrusive.
They are. Like, I have some wild thoughts. And I'm like, God, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I have 100 things a day where if I said them on a podcast, they'd be knocking at my door tomorrow.
No, I've said some pretty fucking stupid shit on here and I haven't got a knock yet. So, I mean, you just heard my theory on it. I literally think there's fucking aliens just importing thoughts. Like, take that cunt.
It makes as much sense as Catholicism to me.
Yeah, see? There's one God that makes everything work. It's like, but there could be 20 aliens feeding thoughts.
Yeah. And what was it?
I say aliens in a multi-dimensional space, not like an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, it's like that old joke, they say, because on the sixth day or whatever it was, God said, let there be light, which means they've been fucking working in the dark.
Yeah. Well, you can't build it with light first.
Yeah.
That's not how energy works. You've got to, I had a very funny thought actually, which was like, we're just the trauma of the universe. Like every part of existence is just is just some trauma we've inflicted on the earth, or just space time.
Yeah. I think the world's a very traumatic place.
That's what makes things good.
Yeah, nobody gets out unscathed. It's just a matter of how much.
Well, I think
I'm sure there's a abuse victim somewhere going, you fucking idiot, don't say it like that, somewhere. But
man, it's yin yang, man. Every time you get abused, maybe you should learn. Don't get abused next time. It's going to be better. No, I think like every time I've gone through like something fucked, you get out of it, and then you kind of go like, I can sit here and let this torture me. I could. Or I can be like, I'm not dealing with that anymore. That's done. I'm good now. I can do something else. Yeah, there might be things that come back and affect you from it, but it's like if you get knocked down and you stay on the floor, like you can get up. You got to get up. If you don't get up, then you're on the floor. That's your choice. And I think that's it. The whole yin and yang thing. With all good there is bad. With all bad there is good. Everything is equal eventually. And then you die.
Yeah.
So if your life was real great for the first 20 years, I'm going to tell you, the next 20 are going to suck a bit of a dick. That's just fair. You think about it, man, like all the rich kids that had it real easy, they're all fucked in the head by 20.
Yeah, but I think, you could... Yeah, you're right. I was going to go into an explanation of why that is, but, maybe it's just, cosmic trades and balances.
Yeah, or as some would say, karma, but
yeah,
I think that's a little bit too hippie. I like the idea of there is good and bad, deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's your perspective of it, that's it. But back to adventures.
Well,
instead of adventuring through my cooked head.
No, but that's sort of the thing. Like, the balance is the world's fucked, but it's beautiful as well. And what are you going to do? Just hang around in some, like, average sort of thing, doing some average thing when either, go see the fucked parts and appreciate what you've got, or go see the beautiful parts. Like there's just, I
both work hand in hand as well. Like I've been to shitty places and I'm like, fuck. And you see something like colossal structure that was built 20,000 years ago and you're like, God. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There is a lot. I admire the adventuring because it's just like, I haven't done a lot of it. Because I had kids since I was 21, but
I still feel like I haven't done much. But that's what sort of, I guess, gets me to do more.
Yeah.
It's part of that There's always this mini existential crisis going on.
Like you're never going to see it all. Go see more.
Yeah. And sometimes I just get these moments and you go, holy shit, like I could just be doing more, but not in this corporate stress way of more, or consumerism or whatever. It feels good to go, okay, I'll do more.
Yeah. I think doing more is a million times better than getting more.
Yes.
Which is like, I used to think that getting more mattered. And then when you get enough, you kind of go like, what am I doing? I think some people don't get that. Some people are like, what do you mean? It's like, I mean, you really don't need shit.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Well, I did the whole minimalism thing as well. I sold, everything I owned and then went travelling, and I had my year 7 backpack and I took that around the world for a year. The next time that I came back to Australia and then sort of took off again, I was like, I need a smaller backpack. This thing's weighing me down.
Yeah.
And the less I had physically, the more freedom I had.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you have a massive suitcase to travel everywhere with, how much more are your flights?
Yeah. Yeah, I specialised in taking the cheapest, shittiest flights that you could get. And some of them these days, particularly in Europe and North America, they charge you for hand luggage. You have to have like some little thing that'll fit under the seat in front. My feet don't fit under the seat in front of me. So, the more you have, the harder it is. But like, do it. There's a minimum that you need, but it's really not that much.
Yeah, I think like you can get away with fuck all, really. Yeah. Like especially, I kind of feel like Asia is like one of those spots you can just buy disposable clothes.
Yeah, and the best thing about Asia in terms of minimalism is there's not much winter.
Yeah.
So you don't need different seasonal clothes. It's when and that's a problem with speed of travel really. When you're doing the big world trip and you're going from this place, catching a overseas flight to this place, you're going through different climates. You do need more stuff, or you need to buy stuff when you get there, which often works out as cheap as not having luggage.
Yeah.
But all those problems, they creep up with your pace of travel. When we try and go, I can fit all this stuff in, you miss the point again.
Yeah. Yeah, you're cramming shit in by costing more. It's like you don't really enjoy it as well. Like you're because I've done that. I've done that quite a bit sometimes. Where I'm like, oh, I'm going this way, and I'm like, and I've, I may as well stop halfway at one place for a day. So I've seen it for a day, and then go to the next one.
Oh, and it's alluring. Like I do the same thing all the time.
And sometimes you're like, fuck, that was not worth it.
Yeah,
so you just stayed in the flight, suffered, and just got there faster and enjoyed that place more.
Yeah,
because that little day of dicking around isn't even a day, because you've got to get on and off and on and off again. And then you fucking got to get to and from, and you're like, fuck, you just lost half the day there.
Yeah, you go, it's a 50-minute flight, and they go, okay, please go to the airport 2.5 hours early, and then it's delayed, and then you wait for luggage because you've got luggage and all this shit at the other end, and you go, that was a 4-hour, 50-minute flight.
Yeah. Wasted a day. Yeah. Mm. That's how I've recently gathered that knowledge. I was like, this is fucking dumb. Like, why am I trying to cram shit in? Just go one place and venture that one.
Yeah, I'm sure there was probably a good need for there to be this desire for more. Maybe when we lived in a cave, maybe a cave wasn't enough for us. Maybe we needed a bit more food.
I think the more is always there, whether it's stuff or doing.
Yeah.
It's always one or the other. It's not, I think the more is that. It's like some people just see it in a different light. They're like, I need more shit. But it's like the people that don't need more shit go do more shit. It's kind of one or the other. Or there's no...
I think there's just so much stuff available now, whether that be cheap travel, flights, entertainment, food, cheap clothes, everything, that it just really short circuits that desire for more. And then you get in this sort of possession cycle rather than experience cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might have kind of nearly got my kids past the possession bit already. And my eldest is 10. And I was kind of like, hey, this year, how about we don't get any presents? We'll just do something cool. And they were like, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, wow. That was not even hard. I was expecting like an argument here. I was like, you've got everything you want, right? Because I think they've just seen how I live, and they go, oh, he doesn't need shit. I don't really need shit. There's some things I'm like, oh, I like that, I want that. And you're like, cool. But they're not like, I constantly need something new. They're not always asking for something, which is weird because I think as a kid I was like, more, just give me whatever I could get my hands on.
Yeah, oh, well, there's billions of dollars trying to make kids
buy shit.
Yeah, get their parents to buy shit. And then the school, like I said, school system, it's this weird thing. It's not natural.
School is fucked. No.
School is bizarre. And then it becomes, I think, this whole idea of fashion and fast fashion, and that, even though it looks ridiculous, that person said it's cool, therefore it's cool. It's not ridiculous, it's ironic or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's just trend, cutting edge, you know. I think that's all a byproduct of school, where this sort of weird competitive shit show.
Yeah. Well, it's school is, I find, less about learning and more about human learning. But it's like if you cram a bunch of morons in a box and be like, figure it out half the day, and the other half of the day, listen to that person. They're not going to, it's like so hard for that to be a possible thing. I remember all I did was torture teachers at school, but I was still smart enough to get like good grades, but I wasn't interested in what they were teaching me because there was no reason to be.
Yeah. I had a couple of good teachers. Most of them were shit.
Oh, yeah. I was telling my kids about one Miss Bird, you haggis old cunt who's probably dead. She called me a delinquent and a vegetable in year 8. And we had this veggie patch where she'd put the vegetable kids, which was me, obviously. And I remember going home and being like, what's a delinquent? Like, I don't know what the fuck that word meant. My mum's like, it means idiot. And I was like, my teacher called me a delinquent today. And she's like, what? And I was like, and put me in the veggie patch.
That's not a good thing to do to a kid.
Yeah, I was in year 8 and I was like, I was a little dickhead, but fuck, like, that just makes you an even bigger. You find out the teacher's being a smart ass to you, calling you a delinquent. So I was like, you're too stupid to know that I'm calling you stupid. Like, fuck you, bitch. Went back to school the next day. I was like, oh, I'm not doing shit in this class.
Yeah. But what always confused me about teachers is they would be surprised that you didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Why would that?
Fuck.
I can understand that could be frustrating, but it should never be surprising. What kid wants to sit down and look at a person with a whiteboard all day?
Yeah. And you'd be like, interesting fact.
Yeah.
No, fuck, I had one of those teachers in year 12. And like year 12 is when I started wagging.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm off this.
As soon as you get your license, goodbye.
I didn't even have my license.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, why am I here? Like, none of this is going to get me a job. I'm just getting a year 12 thing because I guess I should, right? But there was no like reason to finish apart from just like, you're a dumb cunt if you don't have your year 12. There was one of the teachers was like, man, why aren't you coming to class more? Like, you know, maybe you could do this for a job. And I was like, maybe. I don't know.
Do what for a job?
That was multimedia.
Oh, okay.
And like, to be fair, I did like film and edit skate videos at that point in time.
Now you've got a podcast.
Yeah. So,
but who saw podcasts coming?
To be fair, the shit I learned then probably would have been really useful. But it's so ancient technology now as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I was kind of like, I don't know. I felt it didn't feel fun. Like he just made it boring. So I was like in this class doing like trying to make a website, but it was just like, this sucks. I was not interested at all. I was like, man, this is crap. That's why I'm not coming.
I think people of our generation, we might have been the first to do it, maybe not, but if you had any sort of interest in that sort of stuff, all the facilities were there to sort of pick it up and teach yourself, and that's what we did. And if you weren't interested in it, then sort of there's like a base level that you might need to know, but that's about it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I self-taught myself how to fucking edit skate vids by watching skate videos and being like, oh, that's how you do that? Okay, cool, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And they were like, fuck, you made this yourself at 17? I was like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? Of course. isn't that what people do? They just make shit. Isn't that how it's done, motherfucker?
Yeah, and they wouldn't have been able to teach you how to make a skate video.
Oh, that was like that's good. And I was like, I've seen better skate videos. Like it's not that good.
Yeah,
I guess it's okay, but like it's not. Come on. But I think it's like you're like fuck, man. The teachers thinks this is good, and then you realize what they can make is nothing as well, and you're like, oh, you're just an English teacher.
Yeah.
Like, this, fuck, no wonder.
Those sort of ancillary subjects were always, a teacher that was English or maths or whatever going, I suppose.
I guess we can look at the
John,
curriculum.
can you go teach the kids that thing? This is some new syllabus. Just go for your life, mate.
Yeah, well, I mean, just read the book and fucking, he'd give him a worksheet or something, or like, just tell them to make something. I don't fucking know. That's how I felt. I was like, this is dumb. Why am I here?
Yeah, I in year 11 for, I don't know, a couple of months or something, I was doing they were calling it business and enterprise.
Yeah, I did that, yeah.
And I remember...
Didn't teach me shit about business.
No.
Selling the fucking cans of Coke out of my bag did.
Yeah. And I'd actually just, the year before, I'd skipped 2 weeks of school to go to, my dad goes, the Chamber of Commerce is doing there's some like funding for a free like business program thing for 2 weeks. Do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, that'd be heaps better than going to school.
Fuck off.
So I did that.
Actually learn real shit.
Yeah, the guy owned like a $20 million scaffolding business versus the bloody...
Dumb cunt teacher at school.
What did they call it? Like the social education, whatever that was. She was that teacher.
S&E, the Society and Environment.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. So she was the S&E teacher, and she's saying something about balance sheets. And I remembered something this guy said. He goes, oh, well, if you're struggling to, like, if you're looking at the balance sheet and it's all just numbers, he goes, like, you reformat it like this and put it like landscape, and then the left-hand side should balance with the right-hand side. Like, it's a good visualization. I said that to the teacher. I'm like, there's this little trick if you're struggling to visualize it. She goes, oh, no, that's not how you do it. Because she had no fucking idea.
Yeah. You're a teacher, not a business person, bitch.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, why would she have any knowledge of like how to like get meaning from a balance sheet?
Yeah.
Like, she would have known what it is and, okay, that says this. But the reason you have it is so you can interpret some sort of meaning from it.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I can get any meaning out of a balance sheet, but...
I do.
Yeah.
Cans of Coke.
Yeah.
But I did like, the biz ed class. And I remember being like, I don't think I've got anything out of that. Still to this day. I can't think of one part of that class that made me go like, that'll help me make a business. But literally selling cans of Coke out of my bag at school was like much better learning process. Like, all right, I'll buy a carton of Coke for $8. And then I sell each can for $1. And then there's 24 cans. I make $12.
Yeah.
That's wrong math, but whatever. That was incorrect. $16. Fix that one up.
Well, 12 after you drink 4 cans of Coke, and then you realise your profit margin's eroding, and
that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
I would drink 6 Cokes in that one carton, and then be fucking down to 12 anyway.
Yeah, but that's an important lesson, right? And that's where you really learn something. And this will sound, I don't know, conspiratorial or whatever. I don't care, but I think the school system, no one's going, well, let's teach people to do well for themselves in business.
No.
Because that's not what school's for.
It's for making workers.
Yeah.
You're making fucking computer chips to just do.
Yeah, so why would they have a good bloody business? And there was no business, and there was certainly no enterprise coming out of that class.
Well, the thing is, it's like, if everyone can run a business, then who works in the business?
Yeah.
Then you're fucked. We're all fucked. So, I tell my kids that a lot as well. So I'm like, school is meant to make workers. Don't get stuck in that. That's what it's doing.
Yeah. And I mean, if you find some sort of joy in work, but I hear that as like this weird abstraction. I don't know if it's ever actually achievable.
I see people
joy out of working for someone else. My wife says she does it. I don't know. She comes home tired, and I think, well, when I do something I love, I feel like energised by the end of the day.
You're not toast, eh? You're like, fuck, let's do more.
So why are you looking tired when you say you love this shit?
Yeah, I think there's like I've tricked myself into it, where you're like, no, I really like doing this. And then, like, you can look back and be like, no, I didn't. I just made myself feel better about it because I thought that was a means to an end kind of thing. So you're like, instead of waking up and being like, fuck, I hate being here, you're like, no, I like this. But then a year later, you're like, no, I don't like this.
I think I've done that quite a lot and then had these moments where I snap out of it. And I try not to, like that uncomfortable feeling where you go, it's like when you remember something embarrassing, you go, oh, fuck, jeez, I can't believe I did that. And you really want to forget about it. Yeah. But when I have those moments where I've lied to myself to keep myself going in something that's not ultimately one of my bigger life goals, I try not to not think about it. I try and let that sit there with that discomfort and let it become this reference point for the future. Like just fucking burn it into your skin.
Yeah.
Like make this hurt.
Yeah. You're like, fuck, man. You lied to yourself and you believed it, you dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my married for 10 years. That's literally the thought that I was like, can't. You fucking moron.
I had a long relationship where I just wished she would break up with me.
Wish she wouldn't or would?
Would, yeah.
Fuck. Would you do like shit to like kind of like stoke the fire as well?
Not really. Like I would just keep going, all right, I need to figure out how to end this, which is quite simple. You just end it.
Yeah.
We didn't have kids or any joint assets.
Did you feel bad if you were going to end it?
I think it was a fear of unknown. It was the first long relationship I'd ever had, and we were both doing it, not trying to address it, because you go, I guess if you both know that it'll lead to a breakup, or if one person knows it'll lead to a breakup, and you go, I want it, but I want somebody else to bring it up, because you keep hitting this point where you go, oh, if I say that, that'll cause this, which will cause this, and then we're split up. So that's a bit like saying the end thing, and it just creates this resistance. And I don't know, I guess I was just too scared to do it.
Yeah.
But I've really let that become a lesson. And that was, around the whole time that I went and did the travel. That was a part of another one of the trappings where I went, oh, okay, this is all going in that direction. And then I'm stuck for life.
Yep.
And you're not stuck for life, but...
Well, if you have a kid, you kind of like...
Well, yeah.
You kind of like, well, I can be a cunt. I can get the fuck out of here. Or then you got to think about that for the rest of your life too. Like that hanging there going like, man, I'm a bad parent. I'm just out of here doing whatever I want. And they're just suffering. Or not.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, that's the thing. You have to decide to like, be selfish. And then like that ruins it anyway, because then you just feel like a selfish asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, I could fucking bail on these kids. But then I just would hate myself more. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not. I've said this before. I'm like, I like being a parent more than I like doing whatever I want to do. And that's kind of how I've sometimes I think I'm lying to myself with that. And I'm like, nah, I've thought about it enough to go like, nah, you like that.
That's why, even as a kid, I realised this. Not like when some people go, oh, I knew I wanted to be a parent or didn't want to be a parent since I was 4 or whatever. I find that a bit odd.
Mainly that's fucking like, why? Do you hate yourself that much, cunt?
I can this will sound sexist, but who cares? Well, it's not sexist because I think there's like a lot of societal pressures, so I can understand it a lot more for a woman, and I think there's a biological push to feel that way. You know, we all have it as humans. I think women have it more, so they don't throw a kid off a cliff or whatever.
No, I think it's more likely that a woman's going to throw a kid off a cliff than a dude is. Yeah. There's some pretty fucked up fucking stories out there, man.
Yeah, anyway, before I dig myself some weird hole, like I understand that there's all these societal pressures, and they give, like young girls, like
the babies in school, yeah.
Yeah, these little babies and all that, and I think
so you're prepared. It's like fucking what?
Yeah, indoctrination for a young girl to, eventually have sex and have a kid, like that to me seems weird.
Yeah.
But I can understand why there's maybe like okay, all that societal conditioning worked. They wanted to have a kid. I found it a bit odd, more odd with men. I don't understand it as much because I don't think we're pushed in that direction to go, I always wanted a kid. I think it's
the opposite. Most dudes are like almost, I don't think most dads are like, don't fuck up your life with a kid first. Like it's pretty much like they've all got a mate who has a fucking mate who had a kid and his life is fucked because their ex is a piece of shit who won't let them see the kid and they're paying child support forever.
Yep.
So most adult men are just like, don't do that in your 20s. It's not a good move. Trust me.
We all have.
She's going to cheat on you. You're going to pay child support. You're never going to see your kid.
Yeah, we've all got that, mate. But what I did realise from a young age, and I've only just thought about this now, remembering back, and I think it's probably an odd thing. And I don't know, it could sound selfish, but I don't think it is. I think it was just an awareness that I noticed this cycle where, somebody's working towards all these things they want to have in their life. They have kids and they go, okay, first and foremost, I'm a father now. I've got to look after my kids. My search for fun, possessions, whatever it is, that takes the back seat. And so they do the right thing and, they put their kid first. And then that sets the example to that kid of, I will put your life on hold for your kid. And then, same thing.
No one lives.
Yeah, I thought, where does it stop? And yeah, I don't even know where I was going with this, but that's, I think it's probably odd, but I realised that from a young age, and that's sort of what has informed the narrative that's sort of led me to do some of the things that I do.
You kind of had like two major points of it. It's like you realise you're going to die, so you're like, I've got to do shit. You realise that everyone's stuck in this cycle of like, be a parent before you adventure. I reckon there's a third little nugget in there somewhere that's like that was like the there's always third one that ticks the box and you're like, that's it, I'm doing this. There's probably something you've seen that's like the final spark and you're like, that I have to fucking be an adventurer.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what it is.
Did you know those two were it? I think one of them you did. The second one might have been an accident just then.
Oh, well, no, I've always known that I've thought that, but I wasn't going, I thought that. I just haven't thought about thinking that.
Yeah.
If that even makes sense as a sentence.
No, I've, like something, but you've never thought it. It's just like it's a backup thought, I guess. Like it's like in the back of your mind is like a better expression for it.
Yeah, actually, I suppose another thing is that I've always rejected this notion that doing things that are fun are irresponsible and somehow not in the benefit of humanity. I remember my English teacher when I was in year 12, always up for a bit of a debate. So we'd have a bit of a joust. There was me, the teacher, another kid called Harley. And, me and Harley were the verbose, smart kids in the class going, no, I'm smarter,
Yeah.
But he was always sort of this idea that, oh, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. He was a bit more like, you follow the scripted plan.
Path.
And so it would sort of become a bit of a three-way debate when everybody else was just trying to get through their English class.
Trying to write this essay, and you're like, no.
Yeah, just like, excuse me, we're having a conversation. Could you not interrupt us? And, the English teacher, I think his name was John, would go, okay, so I'd express my opinion, and they'd go, well, that's hedonism. As if and there seems to be this human desire to put a label on something to try and make it seem more ratified as an idea.
I think that is, if it's got a label, you can throw it away quicker. It's like you can shut up something if it has a label. It's the same as like dickheads calling like anyone that follows Trump a Nazi. It's like you've given a label, now you can shut up. We don't have to talk about it. Yeah. Like, well, we could talk about it. But I find that's what it is. Anyone that labels something, they're really quick to change the subject as well. They go, that's what that is. And
yeah, because they've sort of pulled an argument out of a box. Like, here's my argument. It's prepared by somebody else. You can read it.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. And so they go, yeah, that's hedonism. And I go, okay, so what? What's the problem with that? Life isn't this zero-sum game. For me to have enjoyment or satisfaction or happiness doesn't require me to take it away from somebody else.
Yeah.
And this will sound like a long bow, but I think that's a bit of a leftist mentality, because this idea that, you're making money, that must come at the expense of somebody else. And I guess that maybe that's this sort of more meta view of the world.
I get where that comes from, because I was like that when I was younger. When I was younger, I was of this thought that like rich people are assholes because they've got my money because they've taken it from somebody else. Like, not that it's just there and everyone can have it and everyone can have more of it. It's someone has to suffer for someone to win. Like, I guess I looked at the yin and yang of like, you're doing well, someone must suffer. But it's not that. Like, and I think that's the same in any job. Like, people will try and like push others down because like there's only this much of that. If I've got it, you can't have it, and you're like, well, we could both have it. Like, there's ability.
Well, if you're in a structured hierarchical environment, then if somebody else gets a promotion, maybe you don't get the promotion.
You just go to another company and get it over there.
Yeah, or don't work for someone else.
Yeah, make your own fucking company.
Yeah, and just, but I don't know where it comes from, but I think really there's this idea that having good things for oneself or pursuing good things for oneself is somehow irresponsible and selfish, and I think that's what stops a lot of people.
I think it's a where I got it from was ignorance. It's maybe more like dumb and ignorance, because the more you learn, the more you can see that that's not the truth. But the more ignorant you are to learning more shit, the more you're like, no, someone's suffering. Like, I didn't understand that you could run a business that makes money without ripping people off before I started to try and make businesses. Like, when I was selling cans of Coke at school, I was like, they could all go and buy this can of Coke themselves, but they're fucking dumb, so I'm going to sell them cans of Coke and make money off them. But the fact of the matter is, I was providing a service.
Yeah.
I was bringing cans of Coke to school where there was no cans of Coke for sale, and I was selling them to them cold, which they couldn't have done. And if they didn't have $8, they couldn't buy a whole carton. And if their parents didn't let them drink Coke, they couldn't buy a whole carton.
Yeah.
So I was giving people something they didn't have, and it was being helpful to other people. And in the process of that, I got something in return. We both won. I got $1, you got a can of Coke. No one lost.
I think it sounds like a cliche, but if you just fix someone's problem, they'll pay. And how's that bad for the world?
Yeah. I mean, the best businesses are solutions to a problem. The worst businesses are being convinced that you need the problem in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's terrible businesses out there and all that, and it's a problem of human greed, not capitalism or anything.
Yeah,
but
it's human greed.
Not
capitalism. Correct.
I don't think it's a tangent, and again a long bow. I don't think there is such a thing as capitalism. I think capitalism is sort of the natural state. Human greed gets in the way of a lot of it, and if you try and force another system like Marxist communism and all that's a thing. Capitalism is actually a lack of a thing.
I think no matter what Marxism and consumerism, there's always somebody. There's always a winner. The ideological idea that if we all share is impossible. There's got to be some distributor, and the distributor guaranteed to be a greedy cunt, guaranteed to have more. Whether it's slip into the slide or whatever, you really want that, like a dictatorship is a consumerism thing, because like, we get one person to make sure we all do it, or some group of cunts that will fuck you over.
Yeah.
Like, it's guaranteed.
Yeah, humanity's the problem, not the... humanity's great. I'm not one of these nihilists going like, well, let's just, try and poison everyone.
It's great. and evil is both.
Yeah. It comes back to that balance thing. But yeah, that's all just like a really long tangential way of me coming back to. Nobody has explained to me that there's this like irresponsible selfishness. Nobody's been able to make me see that.
Yeah, what makes it irresponsible? Truly irresponsible.
Yeah, and I think it's a jealousy response.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that, so.
Well, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense, yeah. That was definitely what it was when I was a kid, yeah, for sure.
Audio compression.
Yeah.
We're talking about stuff before. That's top-down compression. Not that there's anything wrong with top-down compression, right? But like, to keep us all on the same level, let's bring the highs down.
Yeah. And bring the lows up to the middle.
Yeah. And if you bring all the lows up, you bring the noise up as well, and then everyone's just in this muddy shit show.
Yeah. Yeah, you make it a fat sausage is what my mate calls it. He goes, you take all the fucking, the mountains and the troughs and you turn them into a fat sausage. And it's like, but I find that's what like antidepressants do to people. Is you take out the big swings of the happiness in their life and you take back the sadness and then they just become drony in the middle.
I listened to a Tim Ferriss podcast probably a good 5 years ago, and I can't remember who the guest was. It might have been the guy who wrote Good to Great. It was a business book. And he was saying that he tracks...
I know the book. I'm trying to think who wrote it. Not Tony Robbins?
No. Jim Collins? So I don't know. Anyway, he has this spreadsheet and he just sort of tracks how his days are. He says he's got +1, +2, or -1 and -2.
Okay, yeah. So just the 4 scale.
Yeah. And he just sort of, like he's also got his journals or whatever, so he can go, okay, well, that sort of, I had a couple of -2 days. What was going on? Oh, someone died. Okay, that's an outlier. Doesn't matter. Or, you look at the trends. And he got asked, oh, well, would you rather have, only, ones and negative ones? Or, and never have to go through, -2s? I can't remember if the question was to the exclusion of having +2s or... But if I had to choose...
I'd take fucking the speaks all day.
Yeah, I'd ride that fucker the whole way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that it's that middle section that just really it bores the life out of me.
Yeah.
And that's why my wife always calls me an extremist, and I say I
got myself an extremist, the exact same thing.
And I go, careful who you say that to, because it might sound like I'm about to blow up a plane here. Yeah. And I have a security clearance, so don't fuck it up for me. But yeah, it's that middle, like that. I think if you just live this life sticking to the middle, it's like antidepressants by default without being depressed.
Yeah. Well, most of them people will be like, oh. And some will like, eh. You're like, there's nothing awesome. You don't see them people being like, fuck yeah. You never see it. You're like, I think like, you see them people that have kind of got like a normal, very normal life. You never see them real happy, but you never see them real depressed. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and like, I don't think that's natural. It's the same as this sort of consistent approach to everything. I think is unnatural across the board. There was, I think, anthropological studies of remote areas of the Philippines. Well, I guess all of the Philippines is remote. It's got over 7,000 islands, but a place where they were still sort of like an indigenous group to one of the regions, and they were still sort of uninfluenced by modern culture. But one half of the group had sort of adopted somewhat of a post-agricultural revolution lifestyle, and the other were still hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
And this guy tracked, and he did the same thing in Africa. And then his study, like it wasn't retracted or anything, but they go, okay, you did this wrong. And so we went and he did it again with these guys in the Philippines and tracked the work habits. And that whole agricultural revolution, like post-agricultural sort of group, just had these really consistent work hours. Whereas the hunter-gatherers would maybe do nothing for like 2 days and then...
Go fucking catch a pig.
Yeah, and so they would do these bigger bursts of work, but they were healthier, they were happier on all sort of like self-reported assessments, and they actually worked less because that style of work is more productive.
Yeah, because you put all the effort into that small period.
Yeah, and I think that's what humans are supposed to do. I was looking at... I've got a dog, and then we've got a mate staying with us. He's been there for a couple of weeks, and he's got a dog as well. And I look at the dogs, and they lay around, and they're doing nothing, like actually nothing.
Yeah, just chilling.
And then, we go, all right, like, because I live in Kalamunda, so there's a dog park that's like 100 acres, like just down the road from me.
Yeah.
And the dogs love it. And you just grab the lead, and they go, oh, fuck yeah. And these dogs are flying.
Yeah.
Even my 13-year-old dog, she's like, I don't care how much arthritis I have. Let's just go out. But it's this total rest versus total activity. They're not sitting on the lounge watching TV, and they're not in an office. And I think people sort of get the most fucked up when we're doing mental exertion without physical exertion and vice versa, because that we're sort of just doing half of everything.
Yeah.
And it's that's what fucks us.
Yeah. And that is that middle ground of like nothing great, nothing terrible.
Yeah, and I think, I think you need extremes.
Yeah. And so that's the idea. Take everyone on the tours for the extremist part. What is actually on the idea of tours? What's the best thing you've seen in the world? Like, is there a number one thing you've seen where you're like, fuck, that's been the best so far?
Probably some of the stuff I saw in the Kimberley as a kid, WA.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some... And it's nearly always something which is just like a quirk of psychology, but not something you're really expecting, because then your expectations just get blown away. But yeah, stuff in the Kimberley in the wet season, wet fall, sort of waterfalls, and
just them colossal, massive ones we've got out there.
Yeah, just some of the prehistoric looking stuff that we have out here that was really underappreciated until a couple of years ago when we weren't allowed to go anywhere else.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, may as well go and see them big holes.
Yeah. But I've just seen a lot of, really, really cool things. I'm sure it'll come to me at about 3 a.m. when I go, oh, fuck, it was this one thing and I know it now. But
yeah. So what's the idea of the tours that you're going on at the moment, that's part of your business? You do some already, right?
Yeah, 4-wheel drive tours. So tag-alongs, people come out in their own cars and they follow me into the desert and pay me for the privilege.
Cool. What's the furthest out you've gone in WA so far?
With a tour group?
Yeah.
The Canning Stock Route.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How long is that?
If you do the full stock route, it's about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you read a lot of the blogs, like the RAC's blog and all that, and they'll tell you can do it in 14 days. The RAC are going to kill people one day. I'm certain of it.
Really? They just fucking...
Oh, they've got no idea what they're talking. The RAC is a terrible company, but I wrote this whole report on them. They're just trying to push all this tourism. I
suppose they creating the problem. That's genius, actually, now that I think about it. It's geniusly evil. If they're like, go do this, you're going to get fucked up. You have to call us to help you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they actually want people claiming, so they'll put all these itineraries online that don't even take you off-road so that you don't get the chance to put a claim in, and they tell you, no, this is the place to go. And you could ask yourself, at a place like Monkey Mia, which is this, like reserve and national park and all that, why the RAC were allowed to bulldoze a whole section of it to put their resort in. And then you've got to go past the payment booth for the DBCA, for the national park, to go 20 metres further to get into the car park of the RAC resort. So they collect $20 for every RAC guest that goes through there. And then okay, well, that's why they were allowed to bulldoze that pristine World Heritage bit of land.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just on this RAC thing.
No, I went to Monkey Mia and I was just like, that's it? Fuck you. I was foul. I was like, that's like, You drive through that bit and you're there, and then you're like, oh, they've like taken this bit. Like we actually can go is like not what it seems.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more around it. Like go back.
Yeah, so like that section there, that's all pristine land that you'll kill species if you destroy it. That bit just over there, okay, what used to connect these two? That area that you've bulldozed for that resort that attracts all these people that come through your $20 fucking toll gate. And I'm in the tourism business now, and that's a bit it's hypocritical, but I'm not trying to drive tourism numbers up to where I go or add infrastructure. The more infrastructure that gets added, the further out I have to go to fucking enjoy a bit of peace and quiet and show it to people.
Well, it's the more infrastructure, the less it's adventure. The more it's leisure.
I was at the WA Tourism Awards a couple of weeks ago, and they have a category for the adventure tourism operator or whatever, and the company that won it is guided hikes in the southwest, like Margaret River or something. Just, I see the same thing in the adventure motorcycle space. People, they go, oh, it's adventure riding, I don't want to do that, and they mainly just spend most of their time on the bitumen, and that's what all these big adventure bikes, the BMWs, even the KTM 1290s and the Harleys and all that are being made for, like the adventure Harleys.
Yeah. Just to chill.
Yeah, and they go, oh, it's adventure. And you go, no, it's not. Stop abusing that word.
Yeah.
Like, what word do we use when you fuckheads ruin it by bloody just labelling any wet lettuce activity an adventure?
Yeah. Well, it's like when I was in Thailand, I went to Koh Samui as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, take us to a waterfall. Never seen a waterfall before. And I got there and there was this fucking rope up this wall. And it wasn't like a big wall, but it was a wall. And we had a guide who took us to the waterfall. And he goes, oh, the waterfall's that way. And I was like, what's that way? And he goes, oh, don't go that way. I was like, why not? What's that way? And he goes, nothing. Don't go that way. And I was like, all right, dude. Walked to the waterfall. And I was like, I'm going up that rope. And me and one of my other mates, no phones or nothing, climbed this fucking rope. And just there was like a very clear path. There was like this rope. And we was like, let's just follow this thing. And we ended up going like miles up higher on this fucking waterfall, found an even bigger waterfall, and then an even bigger one on top of that. And there was no one there. And we walk across this river, and I was like getting all these amazing shots, seeing this amazing place. And I was like, why the fuck? This is what an adventure is.
Yeah.
That's you going out, you're seeing this fucking cool shit that obviously other people are seeing because there's a rope there. But they're like, no, don't go that way. And you're like, fuck you. That's exactly where I'm going. And by the time we got back, so I think we're gone for like 2 hours, maybe even longer, everyone else were like, you fuckheads. We're like, what? They're like, you were gone for ages. And we're like, yeah. We went and seen some fucking awesome waterfalls. And you got stuck at this stupid one, you stupid cunts. Like, we were going to leave without you. And I was like, well,
I would have found my way back.
We would have figured it out. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I've been reported missing when I didn't know I was missing. Doing the same thing. Literally waterfalls out in the Kimberley. Back in the day, the Gibb River Road was this faraway place and an adventure. Now it's beautiful, but I don't know if it's an adventure anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to get to now.
Yeah, and you just it was away for half a day at this thing, and the car had been abandoned and all this, and got back, and the guy goes, "Oh, you guys are fine." We go, yeah. He goes, I was with my dad, like I was a kid. And he goes, oh, you should probably call your wife. And he goes, why the fuck would I call my wife? And he goes, oh, the police have been out here. I go, what? Why? Who called the police?
Fuck. Was it her? Was it your mum?
No, because she was back in Broome, so didn't know that we weren't due home for another week or two. But just people going, oh, these people have been gone for a day. And look, I suppose when you do get, particularly then, it was more remote, and you'd get, tourists, typically Japanese or Germans. Yeah. But Yeah, we weren't missing because they go, it's only a 3-hour hike to that waterfall. We're like, yeah, but we swam back. And they're like, but how do you get in? Well, you jump in. You know,
just swim, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's gold. I reckon that's probably a pretty good place to wrap it up. Is there anything you need to promo?
If you're thinking about going on a 4-wheel drive tour, roughisguts.com.au.
Look in the camera and tell them.
roughisguts.com.au.
There we go. What's I may as well say it while we're here. What's the average price for a 4-wheel drive tour in WA? Or is it
5-day tour is about $1,400.
Not bad, actually.
Well, that one's only starts in Coolgardie, so it's only 600 k's away instead of like 2,000 k's away.
Yeah,
that's sort of our loss leader. So that's where you'll get the best value. But if you want the best experience, the 12-day 3 desert and half Canning stock route tour for, I think it's about $5,000. Probably be about $6,000 by the time this comes out. But if you, if you've liked and subscribed, tell me and I'll give you a discount.
Yeah, there you go. Just mention I listened to the podcast.
Yeah,
I can't even. I looked at that knowing that I can't say. I got to look at that one. All right. Well, cheers for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. I will promote something. Actually, I totally forgot. Fringe, the Violators, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th of January. It's $26. You can get your tickets now. They won't be in the link here, but follow my links, you'll get it. And the 7th of February is another one. Fucking buy tickets. All right. Cheers. Bye.